Along that vein, I think we kind of touched this, but I just want you to reiterate again. So in your opinion, how would investing in cryptocurrency, XRP is our channel, so mostly XRP we'll talk about, help
Sure.
the average middle class, and how will it, and what will happen to those who don't invest in any digital assets? Just give a short answer for that, because I know you kind of already went over that. So
Yeah, sure. So cryptocurrencies and digital assets, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to participate. And how do you do that? By buying those digital assets or cryptocurrencies. And we're actually at the early stages, but these prices we're seeing now, we're never going to see them in the next year or two again this low. So in in regards to taking action and participating, if you do, there's a very high chance, it's very likely that you're going to set yourself up financially and you're going to change your life beyond recognition and even potentially build wealth.
And for those who
Because,
don't, and for those who don't invest and say,
yeah,
no, it's too risky, I don't have the appetite for that, I'd rather hold on to my dollars and just take a risk.
yeah, well, actually, the riskiest thing you can do is not having any skin in the game. Because right now, everything is a disaster. The currency, the economy, the homelessness, the banking system, the inflation. Yeah, nothing is looking good.
It's
The only
not.
thing, yeah, it's you know, I'm an optimistic individual, but the truth is, if you don't participate in investing in the greatest asset class of all time that is going to create the most wealth in history, and I do not say that lightly, digital assets and cryptocurrencies are going to create the most wealth ever seen in history, before even railroads were created, before the even bigger than the internet boom and the dot-com bubble. Why? Because this is changing the foundation of society on a global scale. We're not just talking about like something like Amazon, just retail. No, we're talking about
finance, banking,
everything.
yes,
Everything. The financial system, the
yes,
everything will be run on the blockchain. Everything will be it will become a part of our life, kind of like a cell phone is
a
today.
part of our life. Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't participate by buying certain digital assets or cryptocurrencies, I believe truly you're going to have the biggest regret of your entire life, because you're going to miss out on a life-changing opportunity when you had it right in front of you.
Yes.
So easy and convenient for you to just pick up your phone and make a few decisions and you know, make some investments, but you didn't want to do it because you were ignorant, blind, arrogant. You thought you were fine.
I think a lot of people are just afraid. I think
Afraid.
they're told, you know, my generation, how I raised my kids, you know, you go to college, you get a good job, you invest in your future by having your 401ks, and you do all these things. And so everyone, and there's my generation too that thinks, yes, that's what we're supposed to do. And I'm afraid that a lot of my generation who are getting ready to retire are going to be living with their kids, or they're going to have their kids living with them if they even hopefully have their houses paid, because what's coming is going to be so big in so many good and bad ways. And I think that fear paralyzing you from being able to get
Take
clarity
action.
on it and doing research and finding out what is the best method for me is going to hurt them. And it isn't going to be one of those things that you look back and go, oh, I should have invested in Amazon or Google, or, oh, into Apple. You know, who invests in something that has an apple, a bite taken of it? Ha ha. No, that's not the same thing. It's bigger than that. And you're going to hurt yourself financially if you don't jump in and get involved. Would you say that's fair?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Judy. You're 100%
Okay.
on point.
Don't
Like,
let fear stop you, people. I'm telling you,
do
your
not.
fear
No.
is going to cause you to be possibly homeless and living with your parents or your children. It is a big deal. You must do your own research. And that's why your channel, Vandell, we always say, we're like a broken record. Do your own research. Don't take Judy. Don't take Vandell. Do your own research and find out where in the world are we headed, because where you think we're going and where we're going, it's not right. And your dollars in your bank will not save you. It will
No,
not save you.
no, they won't. And actually, what we're going through right now is a reset. Okay.
What does that mean? Tell people who don't know and have no clue. What does a reset mean? Because they just think, oh, yeah, we're going to start doing digital, just like, oh, yeah, Amazon came. Or
No, 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 no.
what does the reset
This,
mean? What does it look like?
yeah, this is beyond that. A
Okay.
reset, typically, if you look at historical data, it happens every 80 to 100 years. The reset is a complete rehaul of the system. Now, as technological advances improve and technology gets more sophisticated, the resets become bigger than the previous ones. And the bubbles become even bigger, which means the crash becomes even bigger too. So the reset that we're experiencing right now, as Raoul Paul puts it, is the exponential age, where not everything is just becoming digital, but the whole foundation of society is shifting. It's a monumental shift. Everything is changing. The currency, the financial system, the banking system, the internet. Internet, what we have now is considered Web 3.0. 3.0. Okay, we're going to a whole different type of web 5.0 right now, where it's beyond interactive. Everything is changing, where you actually have a blockchain technology that's going to disrupt the entire world, digital assets that's going to disrupt payments, the way money moves. And not only that, the currency, the monetary system as we know it, is going to be completely shifted. Everything is going to change. Ownership of assets are going to change. New asset classes are arising. And this reset is a complete rehaul of the entire economy, not just the financial system, the economy too. Unemployment is going to continue to increase. Artificial intelligence is going to continue to take over jobs that a human once had. This is disrupting the whole world. It's not just about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. That's one big part of it. But AI, robotics, chat GPT, all this is disrupting the entire world. So what we're going to have throughout this reset is the biggest gap you have ever seen in history between people with money and then the poor, or people with at the lower end of the spectrum.
But see, people think they have money because they have it in the bank and they have it in their 401ks. They think they have money, and what they don't understand is it's going to be gone, or it's going to look different, or be reevaluated. And they don't understand that. And I don't know.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
I have people that I love that have cash, and I'm like, do something with it. Buy something, buy property, buy a house, do something. Don't just sit there and think that everything's great because you've got money, in a tin can, hidden in the back of your kitchen. That's not what it's about. It's so big. And I wish that we could, get the word across. They can't get it, Vandell. They don't get it.
I totally agree with you. And I could tell you, as somebody that worked in banking, let me just give something to the audience here.
Wake up, my people.
You need to think like the elite and the 1% think.
And how do they think? Get ahead. And how do they think? Because we don't know. They talk different. They think different. We don't know. So tell the people, how do they think?
I know you know, Judy, but I'm going to still share it.
Sherry, tell me, Evander. Pretend I don't know for all of our people who don't know.
So you need to think like an investor. You need to change your mindset. You need to think like the 1% elite. And the way they think is money to them, dollars, it's a tool. Yep. And more precisely, dollars and fiat currencies are a liability, which means if you hold it, you're a loser. You're just losing money. And bankers know this. Hedge funds know this. Financiers, venture capitalists, they know this. So what do we do? What do they do? Every dollar you have, you put it into something and you turn that dollar into an asset. So if I'm just holding dollars, as bankers and the banks, they see dollars and currencies as a liability, but they don't want a liability. They want an asset. So put that money into something that brings you more money. Now that dollar is an asset because you're putting it to work. And that's how you need to think. And that's how wealth is built. You need to acquire the knowledge, change the mindset, and learn risk management. And on top of all that, under that umbrella, do your research, because there's only so many asset classes that are intelligent to invest in at this current time. And holding cash is not an asset. And it's not a smart move right now.
It's not going to save you. It's not
going to
saving you
save
for
you.
what's coming.
You're going to lose. You're going to lose big time. And you're going to have to suffer the consequences if you don't take action now. And time is of the essence, because this reset is moving so fast right now. Things are shifting almost every single day. Mainstream media is not covering it. As a matter of fact, if you want to get ahead of the curve, I'll give you a little tip. Do not take advice from the mainstream media. I'll give you one example. Senator Warren was saying they need to control cryptocurrencies and take control of the situation because it's dangerous, it's hurting the public. But that same day, the Bank of International Settlements came out with a document on their website, PDF, that says 70 plus institutions, financial institutions in 43 jurisdictions are adopting blockchain technology for payment systems. So the exact same thing the mainstream media was telling you, stay away from it, it's dangerous, avoid it, we need to control it, it's scary, it's a scam. Behind the scenes,
they're gobbling it up.
Ready. They're getting ready for mainstream adoption. And if you own a piece of that mainstream adoption, the blockchain technology, the digital assets, you're probably going to make a fortune. You're going to have life-changing wealth because it's so early. Some of these cryptocurrencies and digital assets are just dollars, pennies on the dollar. That's like buying Google before it was even a thing, or Amazon before it even went to $3,000. But this is bigger than that. This is even greater than that. So we're in this reset right now, and the window is very small.
And the building's on fire, and people are saying, I'm afraid to jump. It's like you either die in the building or you jump and at least try, because something's going to happen. And so you might as well choose your battle, right? I mean,
absolutely, Judy. And the
like,
crazy
do something.
thing is,
don't let your fear paralyze you, because you're going to not make it if you do. And if you're afraid, well, what if I lose the money? You're going to lose it if you don't invest it. That's a guarantee.
That is a guarantee. If
That's
you
a
don't put
guarantee.
if you don't put that liability fiat currency to work, you're guaranteed to lose that money.
And if they're not interested in XRP or digital, at least put it in gold or silver, something to preserve the wealth. So when it changes over and the rest of the world's buying up gold like crazy and metals, at least if you can't do digital assets and you don't want to grow your money and you just want to still keep it in your little jar, at least put it into gold or silver. At least that would protect it better than leaving it in the bank or putting it under your mattress.
Yeah. So just real quick, a little history about money. Banking, modern day banking as we know it, actually started in Italy in the 1300s. Okay. So the way it worked is banks were set up. You would bring your gold in. They would take your real money, which is gold, and they would give you a receipt. That receipt was a US dollar or a fiat currency.
Right.
And if you wanted your gold back, you have to bring the receipt back. What happened is, over time, they notice more and more people start transacting with those receipts, the dollars. And the banks kept getting all this gold and nobody's coming back to claim their gold. And then they said, okay, we need to keep all the gold. This is the real money. Let them use the receipts. And what's happening right now is the receipt you have, the US fiat currency, the dollar, is continually getting weaker. So what does that mean? If you had $100,000 in a savings account last year, well, today, that $100,000 can probably only buy you $70,000 worth of goods.
And they think that because it's still 100,000 sitting in their bank and they can go on their computer and look at, oh, I still have 100,000. They don't realize, though, if you pull some of it out to buy something, it's not worth the same.
Exactly. It's about what it can buy you. It's not about what it says on the bill.
Exactly. That's good.
That's your net worth right there. And
Exactly.
a lot of people think, oh, I make $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year. Well, pay all your bills, all your
Mhm.
debt, and what are you left with at the end of the day in your bank account? That's
Exactly.
your net worth.
Exactly. And do you
That's your
feel like
true net worth.
that is so true. And do you feel like on the same vein that CBDC, so if I have 100,000 in the bank and when this switch is flipped and we go into CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, whether it's the Federal Reserve puts it out or whomever, how much is my 100,000 going to be worth? Do you think, or do we know, or do we have an idea? Like, what would it be worth if I'm afraid to spend my money? I'm afraid to put it in gold. I'm just going to do what I've always done, leave it in the bank and let the chips fall where they may. So now the resets happened. We've switched it over. What's my money worth now?
Yeah. So me and my friend Clive Thompson, retired wealth manager in Switzerland. He's come on our channel a few times. We've talked about the same topic, Judy,
Mm-hmm.
and I've asked him about this. He presented some historical data of cases like this during currency resets. And a lot of times, people can Google this too. We've had currency resets in the past. It's nothing new under the sun. It's
That's right.
happened before. Yeah. Um, it's happened in Germany as well. And it's happened in Argentina, a reform. But what they do is when they have the new currency, most of the times it would be a 1-to-1 ratio. But there have been instances where it was not. So how do we don't know exactly how it's going to look like for the US here. But anything's possible. It could be 1-to-1. So $1 could be one of the new US dollar currencies, the CBDC. It could be a 1-to-1 ratio. Or for every dollar, it could be a 1-to-2 ratio, maybe to incentivize you to be content with the new
Mm-hmm.
change. Do you see
But
what
will
I'm
there
saying?
be, yeah, but will it won't, wouldn't there be, like I've heard that there could be controls like,
Oh,
oh,
yes.
well, yeah, you can do that, but you're not allowed to go buy this and you can't buy that because,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
know, we can control it now. It's not yours. There's a system that's monitoring all that. So, well,
Yes.
you can't buy a new car. You have a car. You don't need a new car. Just get that car fixed or whatever it is. You know, you can't buy cigarettes because that's not healthy for you, or you can't buy ding dongs and Doritos because you're overweight. Like, you know, you hear these things and you think, oh, that couldn't possibly happen. But when everything's digital and it can be controlled.
Well, the whole control mechanism has been a mandate for these elites since the dawn of day. Um, the only thing is with technology now, they are more sophisticated and they're able to implement it more without people noticing too much. Um, as we go to blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, central bank digital currencies, that's coming. There's no arguing there. It's 100% coming. The central bank digital currencies is a control mechanism. Okay, they can paint the picture however they want and disguise it to make it look extremely pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
They could highlight the benefits.
Right,
But if
right.
you look at both sides of the coin and really outweigh the pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
all the negatives will highly outweigh all the positives and the convenience. Make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
But it's a control mechanism. So at the end of the day, I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
central banks, bankers, they all want control. And this goes beyond them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a organization called the World Economic Forum, and they have had many panels where they have guests on that are leaders in this area where they talk about how to control people on a new
Mm-hmm.
level. And they clap for each other when they have these discussions. So yeah, so they are very interested in doing this and they're already doing it. For example, we were speaking with our friend Lynette Zhang
Yes,
from
Lynette.
yeah, she's a
Big old
wonderful,
gal.
very, very smart. She knows
Really
a ton,
smart.
very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
She was explaining how Ford just came out with a patent for being able to shut off their cars in the future if they need to.
Yep.
Basically, you could be driving around, and if you happen to maybe not pay your bill or something, I don't know, they can shut off your car.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already putting all these control mechanisms in place in different
Mm-hmm.
sectors of the economy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's going into the food, it's going into the retail side, it's going into especially the financial system and monetary system, because if they can control your money, you have no freedom. They can control your life. They can control
Yes.
your habits, what you do, what you don't do. They'll know everything. And eventually that's what they want, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm hoping it doesn't get that far, but it does look like we're going in that direction.
Mm-hmm. When we were in Canada at the time during the great event of 2021 into 2020, all that. Yeah, the truckers, if you donated $5 to help them, the little grandma who donated
Yeah,
$5 to help the truckers,
froze their bank account.
yeah, they closed their bank account, and that was just a donation. They weren't hurting anybody.
And
So
that,
one of, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, and that was without a central bank digital currency.
Exactly. That was without the controls in place. So
Mhm.
people have asked us on our channel, okay, so I have all this cryptocurrency and I'm a millionaire now, but everything's digital currencies. Where do I put that if I want to cash it or do things? What do I do so that they don't take my money or control me from being able to buy a Dorito if I want one, some Doritos? Like, where do you put your money then if the banks are controlling everything? What do we do? That's one of the
Yeah.
questions we were asked
So
before.
yeah. So I think effective risk management is important. Okay. If
Mhm.
you understand what's going on and how things are evolving, now you can make better decisions
Mhm.
on how to reallocate or allocate and spread your funds. Okay.
Mhm.
Number one, if you cashed out and you're a cryptocurrency millionaire or real
Or
estate millionaire,
whatever. You just have money
whatever,
now. You didn't have money,
yeah,
but now you do.
you need to do what the 1% elites do and the billionaires. Okay.
Mhm.
They don't just sit on money, they move it into different assets. Okay.
Mhm.
Put it into stocks. Well, I wouldn't say stocks right now because it's overvalued, but put it into assets. Okay.
Something that makes you money.
Something that makes you money,
Yeah.
and particularly something that's stable to some extent. So there's various assets that people can purchase, and your money will be safe there even throughout volatility. There's collectibles, there's vintage wines, there's
Mhm.
antique cars. I mean, there's gold, silver, precious metals, physical though. There's
Yeah.
stocks, there's digital assets, cryptocurrencies, but the greatest wealth, the greatest value and price appreciation is going to be in digital assets. That's a fact
Right.
because it's a new asset class. It's going to get mainstream adoption. The most amount of money in the world, trillions of dollars, are going to flow into cryptocurrencies and digital assets because the big dogs, they want their piece of the pie. So that money is going to go there. And
Mhm.
then one of the other places it's going to go to is where it's already going to, what the central banks are doing. They're buying gold like
Mhm.
crazy. They've been surpassing records at accumulating gold right now.
And why are
And
they accumulating gold, Vando?
yeah, so
Mhm.
there are two reasons. Okay. The first reason is because the US dollar, world reserve currency, is slowly dying and losing its value. Now, all nations, in order for them to conduct trade, they had to buy US dollars to use it as money to do trade, since the US dollar is the world reserve currency.
Mhm.
Well, what's happening as we're going to the end of that lifespan of the currency, the US dollar, central banks, they know this. They're way smarter than us. They're way ahead of the curve, and they're preparing strategically and accordingly. So they've been accumulating gold because it's the safest asset to own, safest keyword, and it's real money. That's number one.
Mhm.
Number two is because the new financial system that we're going to is going to be gold backed and commodity backed. And they know that. And whoever has the most, not necessarily the most, but whoever has the nations that have the most gold, they're going to have a say at the table.
And they're meaning they're going to have a control of the price.
Most likely they're going to have a control of pricing and structure of the financial system, and the way they calculate different prices for different assets. It's a whole other beast of its own, which
Mm-hmm.
I can't elaborate too much on because I'm not sure
Yeah, of
which
course.
course of action they're going to take and how they're going to do it. But yes, they're accumulating gold because this, as I said, the second reason is the new financial system is going to be gold based,
Do you
gold
think
backed.
XRP will be backed by gold?
Personally, I do. A lot of people have said Bitcoin, but I don't see that happening. I see Bitcoin created by the
Powers
government.
that be.
Yeah, I think they created Bitcoin, and it's not coincidence that right after the 2008 financial crisis in America,
It comes onto the
oh,
scene.
Bitcoin magically just popped up.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know. Isn't
sure.
that
Um,
amazing?
yeah, I know, right?
Just
Some
like the
magical
body
character.
scanners after certain events, all of a sudden we're, standing up there
Yeah,
and looking
yeah,
at your inside, outside, upside down side. And it's like,
yeah.
wow,
So
that was
they
really great that you had that right on hand just to whip it out, right? When we started
eh,
to be able to fly
yes,
again. Yeah, I
exactly. So
agree. I agree.
yeah, so
So you would say your opinion, you say it
yeah,
loud. So would you say XRP is backed by gold and XLM is backed by silver?
so that's what I believe.
Mhm.
I still there's still some I still don't have 100% certainty um how it's going to play out, but I have a huge belief that XRP will be backed by gold.
Mhm.
I really do.
That's good.
I
So
think it's
owning
a
gold
chosen
or XRP is a good thing then?
I think owning
Kind of
gold
like
and XRP is an
a
intelligent
good
decision to make.
financial thing to do.
Yeah, and never put all your eggs in one basket, but I think it's based
Mhm.
on the data that's out there. I think
Mhm.
it's an extremely intelligent decision
Mhm.
to own some XRP, some other digital assets, and some gold.
Mhm. And what about
And
buying a home? If you had some money sitting in the bank or you had some extra cash or something and you could purchase a home outright or do something, that would be a good investment too, right? Because with the debt and the way things are going, you want to own as much as you can outright and not owe anybody anything. Like you don't own your own car, own your own house if it's possible.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and this goes back to, as we were talking about, moving that money that you have into assets so
Hmm.
that you own assets. So a lot of the lower end of the spectrum of society, unfortunately, as prices go up, assets go up, asset prices go up too, but they don't own any assets, so that they don't get to reap the benefits of that. So if you can afford assets, as I said, bankers, they know dollars are currencies are liabilities, so put that into assets
Hmm.
so it's safer, that's working, and it will keep you protected. But there's a variety of assets, homes, as you were saying. Now, personally, I believe, Judy, that the real estate market is in a bubble.
Hmm.
I think there is going to be a correction. I think it will also start from the debt market and it would trickle down into the stock market and then it would hit real estate because as unemployment continues to increase,
Hmm.
you're going to see a decline in demand for houses.
Hmm.
And based on my research, I discovered that there is not there is a huge supply of homes on the market, but there's not enough supply to the average homeowner that can afford it.
Hmm.
So that's the problem right now.
Yeah. One of my question was, is I hear like realtors and different people say, oh, the housing interest, the mortgage rate's going to go down in the new year. That's so great because then I can sell my house and I can buy something else. And I think they're missing the disconnect that when the housing prices go down, it's like I'm not the housing price, the interest rates. What's going to happen when the interest rate starts to go down? I'll let you answer that question. I won't give my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a
So
really, is that a great thing? Interest rates are coming down on homes. What does that do to the price of house, like housing? What is that a good thing or a bad thing, or what happens?
well, actually that creates more demand in the housing market because as interest rates go down, now it's more affordable for somebody to take out a loan to get a home, right?
Mhm, mhm. So that's a
So
good thing. So if you bought a house and you have high interest rates, maybe you can refinance and it'll be a better thing for you in the future. And that's how it usually is. So that's a good thing.
yeah, now the thing is this, this is how I believe it's going to play out. And of course, nothing's for certain, but I think as we enter 2024, they're going to continue to raise interest rates. See, the Federal Reserve, the Central Bank of America, they have two mandates. The first one is to control prices, stable prices in the economy. And the second one is to maintain employment and control the unemployment rate. Those are their two mandates. So they have tools. Well, they have a few tools to do that. One of them is raising interest rates. And then the other one is quantitative easing. And then there's some other ones, but those are their main tools. So as we enter 2024, inflation hasn't really hit the target that they want. So what they'll do is they'll continue to raise interest rates, because this is the way they think it works, or how it's supposed to work. As they raise interest rates, inflation is supposed to come down. They raise interest rates more, inflation comes down. That's how it works. But as inflation comes down, asset prices come down too. So what I believe is going to happen is as we enter 2024, I think they're going to raise interest rates for a while, probably at least till probably all the way until April.
Do you think because of the elections that are coming, that's part of why they're doing it too? To try to get interest rates down so that people aren't hurting as bad?
Well, actually, what they like to do is they like to prop up the markets as elections come, because it makes it really makes them look better.
Yeah.
That the economy is doing good, you know. So it's really hard to say what next move they're going to make, but I think as we go into 2024, they're going to continue to raise interest rates for a while. But back to your before they decide to lower them. But this time it would be a little different, because when they do lower the interest rates too, I think they're going to put money into the system. That's what I think they're going to do. So, but back to the housing and the real estate market, I think real estate is in a bubble right now. I think prices are going to continue to decline. I have several reasons for why I believe that. But I think as we go into 2024, housing prices and the value of homes will slowly come down. And I think unemployment will continue to rise in 2024. And I think officially, probably in January, or I could be wrong, but I think they're going to make an announcement of officially we're in a recession.
This January or January 2025? Like January 2024?
2024.
Ah, okay.
I think so. And what that's going to do is companies are going to, as you know, as the Fed raises interest rates, they're going to announce we're in a recession officially, even though we really have been in one. But they'll make an official announcement, and raise interest rates, and unemployment will continue to rise. So more people will be getting laid off, and we're already seeing it happen. I mean, Wells Fargo laid off over 11,000 people. Big companies. I personally know two people that are higher up in the companies they work for, AT&T and another one, and they got laid off, and they've been there for a long time. So companies are
it's happening. We know someone personally who worked for one of the big banks for 26 years and just got his walking papers, of course, during the holidays and in this month, you know, thank you so much for your service. Bye. You're done. You're redundant. And a lot of people on our channel have written us in UK and different places going, well, I'm redundant. I'm done. Like, and now they're hanging on because they're waiting for the crypto market to pump. And others are hoping that once it pumps, then they can get back on their feet again. Right. Because it was so shocking because they'd been there for so long. Thankfully, the one friend that we have is in a good a good place. So
Thank
they'll
God.
be
Yeah.
fine. Yes, thank God. But other people though, they're just like us, the average investor who's just hoping and praying it goes up so we can have a better life, pay some things off. And it's pretty scary for a lot of people out there. The job market's changing. We'll just say it that way.
It's changing very rapidly, and
Not for the good.
no, not for the good at all. And
Mhm.
but that's why people have time to prepare and make changes, and set yourself up for success now,
Mhm.
because you don't want to be the one hanging off the tree branch, when you've been with a company for several years, you think it's all good. And I personally know somebody that recently worked at a company. They were recently hired, and she was also recently laid off too. So a lot of companies, they're hiring people, and very early on, after they
Mm,
hired the employee, or laying her off, So that's happening too.
that's
And
crazy.
yeah, it's unfortunate. But as we enter 2024, unemployment is going to continue to increase. Inflation will continue to increase, which means also, uh, as they raise interest rates, unemployment increases, asset prices go up, and you're going to have a decline in the housing market, I believe,
Mhm.
because think about it. A lot of people are moving in with their parents, with their families. I mean, things are getting really a bit out of control now and
Mhm.
expensive. So,
Yeah.
yeah, demand for houses are going to decrease. It's just, it's inevitable, you know,
Mm.
with the economy like this. And I still think there will be plenty of opportunity when those times come. Um, but yes, housing market will gradually decline, and also, um, unemployment will continue to rise for a while. See, the thing is, artificial intelligence are really taking over a lot of jobs that you might, well, once have had a human do, for example, in the post office, and now you don't. So we're here in Dallas, and there's a Walmart not far from us,
Mhm.
and they actually have drones in the Walmart parking lot. They have a drone parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
crazy.
haven't seen the drones flying yet, but I see them sitting there.
That's
So
crazy. That's
yeah, so
crazy.
they're already, um,
Yeah.
getting things prepared to
For
consolidate.
what's to come. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
because David and I worked in the tax department, and I can foresee that my job would be redundant. There's no need for me. I don't need to talk to any taxpayer. You owe taxes, you don't. You file, AI reads it, they determine, give you money back or they don't. You don't, you have your own business, they take out the tax up front, or they do automatic things like in Canada or maybe in the UK or Australia. We have things called GST. They just take it out automatic. And then once you file, they'll calculate everything and say, okay, yeah, you get money back or your payroll or whatever it is. You don't need people to call and talk to them. They're just going to tell you this is what we're doing. And you don't really get to have a appeal, I think, or if you do, it'll go to another AI appeal board. It probably won't
yes.
even go to a human that can show compassion or show different things that, we would normally do. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I have a friend, you're absolutely right. And I have a friend here in Dallas who's a lawyer,
Mhm.
and he's a business lawyer, okay? So he deals with lots of contracts and, things of that nature, that kind of paperwork. And I use ChatGPT. I came up with a offer letter. I sent it to him. I said, "Hey, take a look at this." He said, "Where?" He doesn't know about, all this AI stuff. He's a
Yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah. I was
older.
thinking, wow, you're so
Um,
smart, Vandell. Good
I said,
wording.
"Yeah." I said, "You better start looking for a job now."
Because I just did it without you and I don't have to pay your
Yeah,
fees
he
anymore.
char he charges $1,200 an hour. So,
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's just insane. Now
Yeah, that
these
is insane.
AIs are getting even more sophisticated as
Yeah.
people use them. So yes, it's just,
Yeah. Where the
but
world's going, we have no idea. I think
yeah,
we don't want to
but
know. I mean, we're Christians. And so, of course, we read the Bible and we
of
see where
course.
this one world is going, and one world money and one world order and one world this and that. And a lot of us just say, come Lord Jesus, please, quickly,
I know.
because it's bad. But in closing, Vandal, I wanted just to have you give one more word of encouragement for those that maybe are hesitant to get into crypto, or those who are in and are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Just something to give them, just a word of encouragement for the XRP holders, and the non-believers, just listen up and hopefully you'll learn something from Vandal's words of wisdom.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. So first of all, I just want to say, for everybody out there, if you're watching this, if you're hearing about digital assets, cryptocurrency, conspiracies, all this stuff going on, I encourage you to take the leap, do your research, be careful with the information that you pick up, because there's a lot of manipulation out there. There's a lot of deception that is being put out there intentionally to mislead you down the wrong path. Be diligent, be disciplined, and do your research. And trust me, if deep in your heart, if you're seeking truth and you have a pure heart and you're seeking the information, you will find it.
Yes.
It's just a numbers game, As long as you're seeking it and you're trying to make the change, you're trying to move forward and progress in your life, you're going to discover the gemstones, and you got to take action. So I encourage people to do your research, be optimistic, even though the world is not a perfect place how it used to be, 30, 40 years ago. There's still going to be plenty of opportunity, but you have to act. You have to take action. You have to be smart. And nonetheless, if you want to succeed financially, if you want to become wealthy, if you want to improve the quality of life for you and your family and generations to come, be the person that makes the sacrifice so that you can live a better life tomorrow than what you're living today. And don't compare yourself to others. But a lot of people are going to dream that they took action, and they're going to dream of things they wish they could have. But the reality is, if you take action now with this once in a lifetime opportunity, this could be the difference between losing everything and gaining everything. And you can change your life forever. So take action.
That's good. And you're wondering, well, how do I do that? I don't have thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's called dollar cost averaging. You take a little bit out of each paycheck and you start plunking it in little by little, just like you would a savings account. We're not saying, and Vandal can agree, that we are not saying go take your savings and, just go crazy with it. We're saying do your due diligence, just like you would find out information, and do it that way. And I want to encourage you that Vandal and his brother Versan with Black Swan Capital do you guys do financial coaching? Is that like what you would call what you do? Like,
yeah, so we do one-on-one consulting and coaching calls.
Consulting and coaching.
Yeah.
So guys, join them. Do this. Go look at their channel. Sign up. I know David and I have, we have a financial coaching course. It's not something, we're not going to tell you what to do, but we can guide you. We're coaches on the sideline. We're telling you, look, this is the play. This is, the idea. This is the goal that we're wanting to do, but we still require, and I'm sure Vandal, you do too, and Versan, you guys require your people to do their own research, because we're not taking the risk. They are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. People need to do their own research. And I think that's amazing, Judy, what you and David do. Yeah, people definitely need a lot of that guidance, because it's such a complex world. There's so many complexities in the economy, the banking system, blockchain technology, and I love how you guys just try to simplify it, So
I do. I try to simplify my interviews. I hope All of you watching really got so much out of it. I know I did. I had spoken with Vendel earlier in the week, and I just had so much fun. I'm like, okay, I'll let you go. I know it's dinner time. I'm like, I'll fast, but he's like, I need to eat.
Yeah.
We had so much fun, and I really appreciate you, Vendel, and you taking the
I
time
did.
to talk with our community. Your pearls of wisdom were amazing, and it was a great honor and a blessing to have you on Digital Outlook, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Judy. I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to having another conversation, in the near future. So
Absolutely. Maybe
thank
we can
you.
get Versan to come on the next time, get his words of wisdom too.
Oh, yes, we will.
Okay,
Definitely.
good. Well, thank you
He's
so
all.
much. We wish you all the best. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you, Judy. You
Okay.
too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.